Welcome to the IOL Sports Show. This is Zaahier Adams, and he's got the world's #1 T20 bowler, Proteas, wrist spinner, Tabraiz Shamsi, all the way from straight out of his bio bubble in Dubai. How's it, Shamo?
Hi, how's it going? How's it day?
No, it's absolutely fantastic to have you here. 6 days you still got to spend in that bubble, Shamo?
For me, it's not as much, but for the team, yeah, I think the team's been here for about 4 days. I've just joined from another bubble, so we have to do a COVID test, wait for the results, and then see how much longer we have to wait in the rooms. But for the team, it's been 6 days in the room.
Shamo, can you just explain to the viewers what it's actually like to spend, for some players, 6 days, in other countries it's 14 days in New Zealand, and what's it like to just spend so much time by yourself?
Yeah, it's not great. Obviously, like anybody, if you're confined, if you're forced to stay in a place, it's not the greatest. As we were speaking earlier, people knock on your door, they drop your food off, and they're gone. So the only time you get to open your door is like when food's been delivered or your laundry gets washed and it gets dropped off. You just open your door. So you're not even allowed to leave your room for the first 7 days. In some places 14 days, depending. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just you in your room trying to find ways to keep yourself busy. That's why some guys read. Some guys have started playing a bit of Call of Duty or FIFA or just anything just to kill some time, to try and stay sane. And then after that as well, the movements are quite restricted. The team would have a designated dining area, a little team room where you can go maybe just play a little bit of table tennis or pool table, whatever has been organized at the venue. And yeah, obviously from a team point of view, the people behind the scenes try and make our lives as comfortable as possible. But being in a restricted environment, there's only so much that can be done. And, eventually you get bored of whatever's being provided.
Shamo, but though with you spending so much time by yourself, it gives you a lot of time to reflect, doesn't it? And the last 12 months have been exceptional for you. You're the #1 T20 bowler in the world, as I've said. Do you ever wake up in the evening and just pinch yourself to say, like, how did I actually get here? How am I the #1 T20 bowler in the world?
Yeah, look, obviously it's taken a lot of time. I was on the bench for about the first 4 years of my international career, just playing the odd game here and there, which was quite challenging in itself, mentally as well. To just keep on preparing behind the scenes, keep on practicing. It's easy to lose your standards and lose hope and not, work as hard as you should be because you're hardly going to play. So all those things do play a role. I've just been fortunate that the team that we have and I've maintained, I've said it many times, people don't think we're as good as we actually are. And that's okay with me. We have one of the best bowling attacks in the world. So the guys around me make my job easier, to be honest. I know I have a certain role to play. I have a job to do in the team, but the other guys are brilliant as well. You don't just, rock up and do well. You need the help of other guys around you.
So you've actually jumped in straight into it. You've been quite vocal about the fact that, to quote you, we're not as rubbish as people think. Why did you feel the need to say that? Why do you feel that people think that way?
Look, I think it's just because we don't have as many household names, that we've had in the past in the Proteas teams. But that's because the guys haven't played as much to become household names. Doesn't mean the skill's not there. It doesn't mean the guys are not good. And obviously we've had brilliant standards set by the teams of the past, that played for the Proteas, that represented the nation. And for a young group of guys, I say young in terms of experience. Experience plays a big role. You can have the skills, you can do whatever. But like any job in life, whatever you're doing, the more you do it, the more comfortable you feel, the more you can actually express what you want to do. So that's all it is, So that's why I feel there's a perception that this team is not as good as the previous teams. But if you take the T20 format, because we're here at the World Cup, we've equaled the number of wins in a row for any South African team. So whatever the teams were playing in the past, whatever players were playing in the past, this current group of players has actually equaled that record. And I'm pretty confident, and I hope that we're going to go on and break that record when we play our first game against Australia in the World Cup. So, like I say, the team can't be as rubbish as the perception of people is, because we sit here basically on a record streak that no other Proteas team has had a better streak than us.
So just taking that into consideration, whatever has come before you, they haven't won a World Cup either. Well, and you now have that opportunity. So it's a clean slate, isn't it?
Of course, we have a clear goal as a team. We just want to focus on what we got to do. Obviously, we know in life you can't please everybody, no matter what you do. I do some magic tricks. I do some celebrations. Some people love it. Some people hate it. No matter what I do, if I don't celebrate, some people will hate it. Some people will enjoy that. So I think as a team, we've, got that mindset that we just have to focus on doing what we can do. And I think we're doing a pretty great job at it. Again, I say perceptions that are out there, they don't match with the results that the team's produced. So I think we also need a little bit of love, because we are out here trying our best. For the people, it's the people's team. It's not our team. And I mentioned in Sri Lanka, when I go out there and play, I don't have a picture of myself on my chest. It's a South African flag. It's a Proteas logo. And we're playing for our people, man.
No, 100%. Shama, you form part of basically this spin revolution that has taken over South Africa. How exciting is it to be, having grown up in South Africa, wanting to be a fast bowler yourself, and now to be part of a generation where spin is actually appreciated in the country?
It's amazing, like I said at the beginning, that for the first four years of my international career, I was basically on the bench. Obviously, Imi was around and he was doing a brilliant job, but we were so reluctant to play two spinners, even though we had two spinners. I was always around. And people ask, what's changed? How have you improved so much? I don't think I've improved that much. I just been able to showcase what I can do now in the last year. It's the first time. I'm no statistician, but from memory, I think it probably took me 3 years into my international career to actually play 2 games in a row for South Africa. And no player can show you what he can do if he's playing one game now and playing another after 2 months, then playing the next game after 3 months. So yeah, I think it's nice to see that now we've got the spin bowlers that have the skill and they're being backed. The coaches are picking the team according to what they see in front of them, and not just what we've seen in the past, what the mold of a South African team should be. We were in Sri Lanka, we bowled more overs of spin than Sri Lanka themselves. So that says how much, what the difference is between this team now and the way the coach and the selectors are thinking about, moving forward. So that for me is brilliant, not just because I'm a spinner, but just that we're making decisions according to conditions and what we actually feel is the right thing to do on the day, instead of just sticking to one way of doing things.
So you don't feel that captains and coaches trusted more, or is it the fact that the spinners have just got better?
I don't know, man. The thing is, it's hard to say that because the other spinners weren't allowed to show what they can do. So you never know, We had brilliant spinners. I'm sure all the guys that were in and around the team were very good players, but we'll never know. The only time you can see what a person can do is if he's, given an opportunity to showcase what he can do. And yeah, I think that's the case for me as well. It's only this past year, that I've managed to play more than 2 games in a row.
That's an insane stat on its own,
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I know it's something like that.
Yeah.
The first time I played 2 games in a row is when Imran Tahir was rested for a series against Sri Lanka. And that was, I think, in 2018 or something, 2.5 years after my debut. So yeah, it's just nice to see the way we're operating as a team and as a unit now.
And Shama, you've always spoken very highly of Imi and Imran Tahir, and he was quite upset that he wasn't included in the squad and the communication that was given to him. How do you feel about? Would you have liked to bowl with one last time with Imi in Dubai?
Look, I don't know what happened behind the scenes and what the situation is, because I'm somebody like that. I just try and focus on my bowling, and now I have a bit different role as well in the team. It's not just about my bowling, it's about what I bring off the field and how I operate within the group, and the advice, and however, to try and make the team a better environment for us. So yeah, I think I actually don't know what to say about that, because I'm not somebody that gets involved in those kind of chats, and so I'm not really sure what happened.
Would you like to bowl with him though?
Well, there's always opportunities around the world, isn't it?
I think that's the best googly you bowled all summer there, Shama.
Yeah. There's always opportunities. We never know where the road takes us, man.
Didn't pick that one at all. Just in regards to being in Dubai in the IPL, and you've got a taste of the conditions. What's it been like, and what can we expect in Sharjah, Dubai, Abu Dhabi? What are the surfaces going to be like?
Look, to be honest, I would have liked to have played more. I only got one game, and again, it takes you back to a person can't show what they can do in one game. But yeah, it was nice to be able to be here, a month ahead of the rest of the teams. A lot of the teams have guys in the IPL. So, but it was nice to get used to the weather. It is by no stretch of imagination cool now, but it was like 10 degrees hotter a month ago. So in terms of that, that helps. Any little bit helps, being able to train in those conditions and play in those conditions. It helps see how the pitches behave. I don't know if they've been keeping certain pitches fresh for the World Cup. I'm not sure what the planning was. But yeah, they are on the slower side. But then again, in a ground like Sharjah, where everyone was saying that, the wicket is so slow, the wicket's so low. It was actually the fast bowlers that took most of the wickets in the IPL, across the game. So it will be, a challenge. But I think our batting unit's actually suited to these conditions. It's not all about scoring 200 plus every game. I don't even think 200 was scored even once in this comp. So yeah, people that underestimate this team, I'm sure will surprise certain people.
And you spoke, right at the start, we spoke about bubbles and how tough they are, and you mentioned a few games there like that the guys play. But do you ever play cricket, and do you choose yourself when you on the PC games?
To be honest, cricket on PlayStation or PC is so complicated. I was just saying to the guys, that's why, like, if somebody has to play FIFA or somebody's never played PlayStation in their lives, you just give them a controller and it's so easy to pick up. You run, you pass the ball, and you shoot. There's 3 instructions. In cricket, you got to choose tactics and how do you want this guy to bowl and which end and what fields and stuff. So I think the last time I played a cricket game was probably when I was like 13 or 14. But yeah, no.
It sounds like real cricket though. That's complicated.
Yeah. They've tried to make it so realistic. So I think it's only the purists or people that don't have children and are in permanent quarantine that can actually play that
game. Shama, if you had to choose a Marvel superhero to play yourself, or you to play a Marvel superhero, who would you be?
Jeez. I'm going to sound a bit dumb. I don't even know if Superman is a Marvel character, but I've always been fascinated with Superman, being able to fly and then travel quickly. That's something that I enjoy.
And you come up against the West Indies at home, at least away. You come up against them again in the World Cup, and you get guys like Tabraiz who they play like superheroes. They do. They fly around in the field. They hit the ball far. What's it like to bowl at those type of guys like Tabraiz, Chris Gale? What's your experiences like to come into a World Cup and face those type of guys?
Look, it's very challenging, the power that they possess, they can't take any bowler down. But for me, it sort of pumps me up. I've been somebody that's always wanted to take the big wickets, always wanted to try and win games for the team and do something special. So I think against guys like that, it brings the best out of me. Knowing full well that they are fully capable of destroying my spell or taking me down fully in and over. But it's also a nice opportunity for me to try get the wickets to help the team. So I think that's the only thing I think about when I'm bowling to them. I know that I've got the skill to be able to get them out, and they've got the skill to be able to hit me all over the park. So that's really nice. It's challenging, but I think that's when I try and it brings the best out of me. That's when I bowl my best. So it's been nice playing against them in the past, and now again in the World Cup, it will be quite good. I'm just glad we're not playing them in Sharjah because there's like 55-meter boundaries. But we are playing England
station,
there,
doesn't it, in Sharjah?
Yeah. But we are playing England there, so that might be a high-scoring game. But obviously, what we've seen in the IPL previously, when it was here, it was 200 plus every time. But now it seems like it's not the case. But as the IPL's gone on, the scoring has become better. Previously teams were making 130. And now as the games have gone on, they've pushed on to 160, 170. So we'll see what sort of pitch we get. But, whatever it is, both teams have to play well. And I'm very confident in the players that we have.
Some of the last couple, your opening game is against Australia. I mean, if that doesn't get the blood pumping, then there's nothing that else does. We know how much the Proteas love playing against the Aussies. We know how much you love playing against the Aussies. How is everything geared towards that opening game?
Look, obviously, I've just joined the team now, right? So I haven't been. I'm seeing things from afar in discussions and stuff that we're having as a group. But like you said, when we play against Australia, nobody needs to be told anything, really. That the is there. Everyone sort of knows what they have to do. And no matter what, in my personal experience, I don't think we've ever played a game against Australia and we haven't turned up. Even when we were just starting out as a fresh team, in a home series, we beat them 3-0 in the ODIs, close to 1 loss in the T20s, which could have been 3-0 either way, if I'm honest. So, yeah, I think with Australia, we don't need to motivate guys, any extra from the sides. I think everybody will be up for that.
And Shama, just last couple, you're now the number one bowler in the world. You're the leading spinner in the side. You've got a couple of young spinners in your side. When I say young, they haven't played much international, at least T20 cricket. Do they look up to you? Do they like, he's our talisman, we follow his lead, particularly the way you carry yourself on the field as well?
I think it's a joint effort, to be honest. And it was the same when Imi was around. Just because he was the number one, there was a lot of times he bounced off ideas with me because at the end of the day, we are the spinners. We understand each other's games the best out of everyone, So I think it's pretty much the same. We all try and help each other out. I'll ask for some advice. I'll give out a lot of advice as well where I feel, because and like I mentioned, my role in the team is not just what I do on the field. It goes beyond that now. Whereas previously my job was just to go out there and perform. For me now, it's about helping the other guys as well, making sure that, we come up with the right tactics. Personally, myself, I also feel like I haven't played much, but, I've got enough experience having played around the world and with different players and in different leagues. So I think it's a two-way street with all of us. We're really open to listen to each other and take advice and give advice. So we've got a good thing going within our spin group, and we know each other for years. So there's no sense of feeling shy to ask for advice or to give advice as well.
And Shama, I'm going to leave the last words with you. What is your message to the people back home? What can they expect from this Proteas team at the World Cup?
I'd just like to tell them and remind them that this is their team. We're here locked up in a hotel room for 6 or 7 days, just so we can go out there and try our best and bring some happiness to the people back home. We're working hard. We're definitely sweating. We sweated a lot in Sri Lanka as well. We sweated a lot in the Caribbean as well. So we've been doing a lot of sweating for this team, for the people back home. And we're going to definitely try and make everyone back home proud of us.
Shamo, thank you for being on the IOL Sports Show. It's Tabraiz Shamsi. We look forward to this unique celebration. We're not going to ask him right here. We're going to use it, wait for the surprise at the T20 World Cup in Dubai. We wish him and the Proteas all the best. Shamo, thank you very much for giving us your time.
No problem. And there is a new trick I've learned. It's called changing nappies. So I can't exactly do that on the field.